What's up guys, Axis here, and today I'm going to be doing a new series called Scene to Cinema, which is basically where I'm going to take a title sequence, anything from like a movie or a game trailer, and then I'm going to try and bring it into Cinema 4D and create it. So, as you can see here, I've tried to create the Fallout 4 kind of ending outro credit thingamajiggy. I mean, the lighting isn't perfect, obviously. There's a much less it's a kind of a colder light here, and the light is more coming directly from here, but I've added another light in, and there's also, it's kind of blue, but remember this doesn't actually have any color correction on it. This is just a raw render straight from Octane, and I'm not going to be using Octane in this. I'm just going to be showing you how to create the scene, and then you guys can go from that point and then go ahead and start lighting the scene and then rendering it out and doing color correction and all that good stuff and animating it and stuff like that. So yeah, I just thought this kind of outro was really cool, and it's not that difficult to do in Cinema 4D, so you know, I thought I might as well go ahead and try it. And basically the idea of this whole series is to, you know, improve my modeling skills, and in turn I'll teach you guys how to model what I'm trying to model as well. So we're all learning from this. So yeah, that's why I'm doing it, and let's get started. Right, so let's go into Cinema 4D. You can use another 3D program if you know the ins and outs of it. But first off, we're going to be creating some text. So I'm going to do text, and then I'm going to do object, and we're going to set this to the middle, and I'm going to do Fallout 4. And as you can see, this is not the same font as in the trailer. I've actually forgotten the font name, so I'm just going to go into my downloads and check it out. Yeah, that's the one. I think that's the one. So I'll also have a link to this font in the description, so you guys can go ahead and download it and follow along with this tutorial. So I wish there was a search function. That's maybe something for R17. I don't know, I don't think they'll do it. There, oh, what's that, over, so, OV, there we go. And what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to change this up to the Italic. Now you can also do bold Italic, which also looks quite good, but I thought the trailer was done in Italic. Oh. So there we go, and for some reason it's forgotten the font. I think I undid it. Right, there we go. And now what we're going to do is I'm going to extrude this slightly, and we're not going to add a fillet cap to this, because what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to use a sweep NURBS. I did try and use fillet for the outer part, but I felt like that didn't look very good. So I'm going to just create something called a text kind of spline layer here. If I can find it, here we go. Put that into the center, and then we're just going to basically replicate the original piece of text, getting the same font, everything like that. There it, where is it? There it is. And Italic, and there we go. We've got it completely aligned. And now what we're going to want to do is hold Alt and go into Sweep NURB, so it creates a child of the sweep. And if we hold Shift, we can go into Circle, and in fact I'm not going to use Circle, I'm going to use Rectangle. Scale this down with T, use T and then scale it down, I mean. And then what we're going to do is we're going to get the height, increase that, so it's slightly overlapping the text, like so. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to go and switch on the rounding, which will allow us to get a rounded finish on this. So I'll put that to 1. That might look quite good. And that's our outline there. And as you can see in the final, there is actually the middle part kind of pops out a bit more than this. So it's not really as simple as just getting the font, putting some nice backing on it, and then that's your render. You've got to kind of trace around everything. So that's what I'm going to do. I just need to get the screenshot. Basically what you do is you take a screenshot of the lightning strike, and I'm going to try and find it. In fact, if I just take a screenshot I can find the folder. Here it is. Okay, right, I've got it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go Control N to create a new composition. I'm going to go into the front view, and I'm going to go ahead and drag this in here. And now what we're going to do is we're going to do the tedious task of tracing around this. So we're going to start up here. So I'm going to go half here, and then half along. I'm going to go all the way down here, click here, and then go half along this curve, and try and match it like that. And then we're going to do the same over here, trying to keep straight lines. There we go. Obviously we can fix these points later if we are not happy with them. I'm doing a very rough job, so if you guys want to try and make this a bit more accurate, you can do that. And that's looking alright. Move that down. Half here, and then here. And then I'm going to do close spline, which will close the spline. And there we've got a decent looking lightning strike. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to put this inside of an extrude. From there, I'm just going to duplicate this, Control C, Control V, put this into a sweep, and we're going to get a rectangle again. Going to increase the height, going to decrease that, and then we're going to move this back, and then we're going to do the rounding. And since we're here, we might as well do the inner parts, which are these kind of lighting parts. So you can use a glow material or an emission texture if you're using normal octane, I mean. And then we're just going to zoom in, and we're going to just do this really roughly. I'm going to go to the bottom here and drag this out so there's a bit of a curve. So that's the kind of not very good looking currently line that we've got. Going to drag this back in Z space. Make sure you selected the full object mode here. I'm going to put this into a sweep, and then I'm going to put this into a circle. So as you can see, we've got the structure here, sweep, circle, and then below that, not as a child of it, the spline. Oh, don't scale that down, scale the circle. And then what we're going to do is we're going to make these bits smaller up here, these two bits. So the way we're going to do that is we're going to go into the sweep, and we're going to go into object details, click, control click here, and control click here, and we're just going to scale these bits down. So just kind of simple sweep NURBS kind of modeling techniques here. And we've got the middle part. And now the way that I did the middle part was 2 helixes with a displacement on them. So what we're going to do is we're going to get a helix, put this into Z, Y, scale this down quite a bit. So it's overlapping this. Just make sure that's a thing. And I make this fill up half of the space I'm looking for. So height. There we go. And I'm going going to change this start angle so we get more loops. Make sure it ends somewhere here so you don't see the end of it. And then the start radius is going to be decreased. And then I'm going to increase the end. And then what I'm able to do now is duplicate this, spin it around to -180 or 180. Oh, we got a bit of a problem. If I just decrease the height, that should be not a problem. And then I'm going to do start angle, and I'm just going to get rid of the rest of those. So there we go. It's looking a bit too perfect though. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a displacement in this. So a displacer, I mean. So what you do is you hold shift when you're clicking on one of these, and it'll make a child of the helix. So we go into the shading, we go shader, and noise. There it is. And then what we're going to do is we are going to increase the global scale. And you guys can mess about with this, but I'm not going to. And then you just do control and drag this into the other helix, go into the noise, and then we're going to just make this different. Maybe you could even put this onto a turbulence, and it looks a bit different. So yeah, you don't want to make it look perfect. And I'm just going to move this along a bit. And then what we're going to do is we're going to put this into a sweep. And I'm going to use a circle, scale this down, and that should be fine. And again, it's looking a bit too perfect. So what we're going to do, I'll show you in a minute after I've done it. Ooh, for this one. Scale that down. Is we're going to go into the sweep, details, and we're just going to go crazy, control clicking everywhere. And there we go. And for this one, we're just going to do the same. We don't want to make it completely the same. Right, that's looking decent. Put that into a group. I'm going to call that strike and do Control C, go into Window, Untitled, and paste. And now we've got our lightning strike. That is ready to use. I'm going to go into the front view just to make sure that this is actually aligned properly. There might be some problems with this original lightning strike, which I found. I did find some fixes for. What I did was I got a boolean and put the motext in it. I'm going to have to put both of them in it. So what we do is we create a null with Alt G. I'm going to call this the text. I'm going to put this in a bool, and then what we're going to do is we're going to get a cube. Put this cube down here. Yeah, that's the one. This might be going quite slowly, but what we're going to accomplish here is we're going to get rid of that lightning strike that's already included with the font. I thought about trying to go in and actually remove the lightning strike and fill it in like in a font, but I don't know how to edit font files at all. So yeah, I don't even know how to create fonts. So if you know about that kind of stuff, you could actually create a custom font, and then, you know, put it in the comments and help people out. That would be good. And then what we're going to do is I'm going to put this in a null also, duplicate it so I can put it down here, and yeah, that's going to be good. I'm going to rotate that slightly as well. Okay, that's looking alright. And drag this back. So as you can see, the only thing that's still being shown is this. I found a fix for this. It's not perfect, but what I did was I went into the dots tool, got the rectangle tool, selected all these points, and then moved it along. I guess I'm going to have to do it for both of them. And from here what we're going to do is we're just going to drag out these points. So just highlight them, and yeah, that seems to be working. In fact, I might just highlight all these points here, see if that works any better for me. Yep, that seems to be working. And yeah, okay. I mean, there's a bit of space still showing, but it's not perfect, and I can't be bothered perfecting it in the tutorial. Sorry, guys. So then what I'm going to do is I'm going to select this point and correct this. So there we go. We have that, and for some reason I think that this is slightly out. I've not selected one. Okay, that's good. Right. Yeah, that's pretty good. Now all that's left to create is the backing. So the way that's made is with a kind of slanted rectangle, which I'll show you how to create. I'm gonna just go back to the, yep, it's kind of quite close to the text. So something like that. I'm gonna put rounding on, turn down the rounding quite a bit. And then the way we're going to slant this is, first off I'm just going to align this, and then we're going to go ahead and try and slant this. That looks pretty aligned. What I'm going to do is I'm going to make it editable, so we're able to select these points and slant them. And the way that I did this was I slanted them the exact same angle that the font is kind of angled at. So that is pretty accurate. Okay, I'll put it back in this place. Is that not the middle? Well, I guess I'm just going to have to go with guessing here. So yeah, I'm going to say that's the middle. And then what we're going to do is we're going to use something called the Loft Nurbs. Hold Alt, and then that will make the rectangle a child of the loft. And then what we're going to do here is we're going to create the kind of dish-like look. So we drag this out, make sure you hold Control, which will create the duplicate. And I think that's about the right angle. I'm going to scale this in. Maybe I'm going to correct some of this in a minute. I think that may be too far out. Oh. Yeah, there's no curve, and I need the curve. I need the curve. Okay, let's go with that. And then we're just going to create another one again. This is just kind of trial and error. There's no particular way to do this. I think that should be around about that. And you can even scale it in to make it better, I guess. Yeah, that's not perfect. I don't like that. How it's really, there's no actual curve there. There's no transition. You can use a subdivision as well. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to fix this, because when rectangles scale, they don't scale perfectly. So if I drag, not that one, whatever one it was, I think it's all of these ones. If I scale all of these down, I'll be able to get more of a curve, and it will also match better, because with something that's editable, you're able to scale it down on each individual axis. Oh, that's my name. And then what you're able to do is put the loft into a subdivision. So just click here. It's called in Hyper Nurbs in previous versions. I think it's before R15. And as you can see, that just rounds off the corners, makes it look less low poly, adds a bit more detail to it. And then I'm going to drag this just behind the text, so you're going to get some shadows of it. So that is pretty much it. I might scale it up a tiny bit. Yeah, that's looking quite good. I mean, the extrusion is a bit too much on the text, but other than that, it turned out quite well. So if I just drag this out, I really don't want to do that, because I would like the shadows from this part. And you still kind of get shadows, but not as many as if you have it kind of just like realistically sitting on it. And the way I did the camera was I just got a camera, and then I did 0, 0, left to Z, and 0, 0. And as you can see, there's actually, there we go, that's it in the middle. And then I centered the lightning because I'm pretty sure that's what's centered in the trailer. So if I do that, that is pretty much it. And all that's left now is the lighting, which I'll leave up to you guys, because I'm tragic at lighting in the normal Cinema 4D renderer. I've kind of forgotten everything about it. So yeah. So yeah, just send me some examples of basically what you've gotten out of this. And also please comment down below anything that you want me to try out. So any title sequences or anything that I could try and model and fail at. So yeah, that would be good. So thanks for watching, guys. Remember to leave a like and comment as well. And I'll see you guys in the next tutorial. Bye.